3.125, right foot step, left foot slide. 3.125, left foot step, right foot slide. 3.125, right foot step, left foot slide.
Oh, Giacomo,
Ciao, ciao.
here we are.
Alla morte, come
Cheers.
dicono i giapponesi.
Yeah, kampai. Yeah. This will be an English interview because
sorry,
the
yes.
staff obligated me to say, Marco, we need an international.
We go international, okay.
And since they knew that my English is really, really good, they say, okay, Marco, you can take
You cannot keep it hidden, you have to show off. Absolutely.
our accent. I think is one of the most beautiful in the world. Anyway, I have to read. Since my English is so good, it's better to
No
read
problem,
the
we
question.
are in a bull market interviews situation, so it's no problem.
All right, Giacomo. You know that I like to make you like a challenging question.
Sure.
And the other day there was like this question that I say, oh my God, but this is a topic that no one delve into, and it's about mining.
Yes?
I mean, we start with CPU, we got to GPU,
Yes.
we came across to FPGA.
FPGA, that are programmable chips.
Exactly, and now ASIC.
Yes.
What's in the future? I mean, in 2100, we will mine Bitcoin like this with huge mining farm, or will be different?
So there is still one step removed that we could make. I'm not an expert in electronics by any means, but from first principle, the idea will be that every time you go into a specialization, you lose flexibility, but you get basically you get efficiency in the specific task. So CPU is a chip that can do any kind of calculation, so they're very inefficient at all of them. GPUs, they can do something specific that happen to include also something close to hashing, so that's why they used it. FPGA are a fixed chip that can be artificially programmed to do some specific circuit, so it was specifically programmed to do mining, and ASIC was printed in silicium just to do double SHA for Bitcoin mining. So it's printed, but it's still a digital computer. So you still have this kind of switches that are on, off, that put all together, they can emulate what is called a Turing machine. So basically
Alright.
any kind of computer. But digital computer, they're great because they're flexible. The first electronic computers in the 30s, they were not digital, they were analog computers. So they had the resistance and currents as parameters in order to emulate some things. Why they were abandoned? Because they were not flexible. They were very efficient, very precise, but they could not do anything with them. You had to build specifically a different kind of computer to do a different task, like pointing a cannon in a war or something like that. So we could have analog miners that are basically not digital chips, not made of semiconducting transistors, but made of circuits that are only doing physically Bitcoin mining. This is another step that could actually arrive. This overlaps a little bit, but not completely, with quantum computing.
All right, yeah.
If we had a really, let's say, performing macroscopic quantum computer, we could use something called Grover algorithm to have a quadratic advantage in mining. So basically, a mining will be, it's not like an exponential advantage, it's a quadratic one. So it will be much more efficient. But I'm a little bit more skeptical about that because quantum computers at scale, they have a lot of difficulties. They have a coherence problem, error correction problems. So I'm very skeptical about that.
Oh, all right. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this was the tough one.
Okay.
Another good one. Do you think we can ever go back and reduce the block space? Or maybe, because you know the security budget, the fees, now the halving is coming, so we need more adoption in the layer 0. Or maybe we can solve this problem just with scalability in the futures layer?
So you say security block size increase?
No, decrease. I mean, maybe we can go back to, you know, like Luke Dashir, he say, no,
like
maybe
1
100 kilobytes is enough.
So 100 kilobyte is a lot, is very, very small.
Yeah.
But like 1 megabyte was probably more than enough in my opinion. Technically, I think there are two sides to this question, technical and political.
Exactly, yeah.
Technically speaking, I think we definitely can. It will be a soft fork, for example, to remove the witness count So
Exactly.
Segwit came together with this discount for the data contained in the signature, and this discount was not part of the idea of Segwit. You could have Segwit, segregated witness
With a
without
discount,
any
yeah.
discount.
Then maybe you talk about Cisa, that is quite
Yes.
good.
So the
Alright.
reason I talk about cheese is that one of the reason. So in my opinion, I was there, and my impression was that the reason that the discount was introduced was just to please big blockers. Was a political move basically.
Yeah.
But there is a rationalization of the move that I think is mostly ex post, and the rationalization is that with the discount you make burning coins, so destroying UTXOs, cheaper than creating news. Because every time you create a coin, in the output, you
Yeah.
pay the full price of that space.
Yeah.
Every time you destroy it in the input, you pay less because you publish in the witness your spending script. So the idea is it's cheaper for people to create. So right now, it was cheaper for before Segwit. It was cheaper for people to create the output than to destroy it because the output was small and the signature was long. Now with the discount, we make it the same.
Yeah.
But with Cisa, which is cross input signature
Yeah.
aggregation, we would have the same effect of incentivizing UTXO reduction
Yeah.
without any block increase. So technically, we could have a sub fork that removes the discount and introduces cross input signature aggregation.
It's like you are paying to do coin join, something
You
like that.
save money
Yeah.
if you do coin join.
Yeah.
So if we are 10 people, if each of us are publishing the transaction alone, 10 transactions, then we spend each one will spend the full signature block space. If we do it together, we can take all our signatures, aggregate them together, save money, and of course redistribute the saving across everybody. So that will be a great incentivization for coin join, or a great plausible deniability technique, because if somebody comes to you, why are you conjoining? Now you have to answer because of
Yeah.
privacy. Why do you want
yeah.
privacy? While if there is any cost saving, you can say, sorry, my implementation just requires to spend. We're just trying to limit the fees on our clients, so we have to implement conjoin in our wallet just for a fee saving fact. So Cisa cross input signature aggregation could come with a witness discount removal, so with a block decrease, which I think would be helpful to reduce spam, reduce the block time.
Yeah, exactly, because it's more about transaction or just JPEG.
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
kind of stuff, yeah.
It would be more expensive to write on the time chain, which is something very critical because everybody will have to download the data forever. So that's very
Yeah.
prone to spam.
Yeah.
The problem with Cheese is that is not ready yet. Full aggregation. So the best kind of aggregation, we don't even really know how to do it. And partial aggregation is cool, but it's very interactive. Like within a coin join, we will have to send a lot of rounds of interactivity, which is not impossible. Like Wasabi is very interactive.
Yeah.
Whirlpool is very
Yeah, yeah,
interactive,
yeah, yeah.
but still, it's not an easy protocol to build. So probably it's going to take some times, and I don't know if it will happen. Even if it will become technically possible, politically speaking, after
Yeah.
all the mess about increasing the block space, I think that many people will react like, no, we cannot go back.
Yeah.
It's like when you make a mistake in a political context, you cannot easily go back to before the mistake.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, let's hope. I hope so. I mean, let's see. The last one. Lately now I'm studying like Bitcoin, and the developers are working on this layer 2, layer 3, and now this buzzword like Bitcoin virtual machine, BitVM. It's just a buzzword. There is something real behind like zero knowledge proof on Bitcoin. It's possible to create something like that, or is like a trend, temporary
So
trend.
there are two sides of what, for example, the startup of Robin Linus is doing. One is using zero, as you said, this idea of zero sync, zero knowledge proofs on Bitcoin. That could also just mean creating the zero knowledge proof to prove the state of Bitcoin without downloading all the blockchain. I think this is very important and could have very serious implications. For example, right now, also because of the block size increase and for the spam and the UTXO problem, we have, if you want to do IBD, initial block download, it could take 3 days if you have a very good compute CPU and a very good bandwidth. But if you are like over Tor in a mesh network with a cell phone, which is an emergency situation, you basically cannot do IBD. You cannot get in sync. So you have to trust somebody else. You have to ask, please, Electron server, tell me if I receive money or not, but you are trusting. And if everybody's trusting, that's a problem of decentralization of trust. So in theory, this kind of zero knowledge is like a compact zero knowledge proofs are these kind of mathematical tools that allow you to prove a giant amount of data with a compact fixed length stuff, which so it feels magical and it can help. The other side is BitVM. BitVM is something different. It's basically the realization that in Bitcoin, after Taproot, you can emulate a general Turing machine, a computer basically, a war computer, as scammers will say. Why? Because as we were discussing before about digital computing. Digital computing is the realization that a few logical gates, in particular one specific gate which is called NAND, which is a logical gate. So basically these and these together, no. But only this yes, only this yes, and none of them yes. This logical operator can be used to build any possible circuit. So what they discovered?
Maybe not in an efficient way.
Not in an efficient way, of course. Indeed, our computer processor, they're not based only on NAND gates. But in theory, NAND gates could reproduce every kind of computation. So BitVM was a realization by Robin and his startup co-workers that with Taproot, you can replicate the NAND structure. So a script of Bitcoin now can have an NAND due to Taproot. Basically, the branch of Taproot can be put in a NAND combination. So in theory, you could build any kind of evaluation on Bitcoin, even if the Bitcoin script itself, so the script, the op codes, they are not testing for some condition, you could build the same condition artificially with the NAND. So you can have a complete general Turing machine on Bitcoin. So connecting the two things, the idea, they're not completely separate, because the idea is, if you have, let's say, sidechain, and then you can create a compact proof of the sidechain state, and then you can test it on Bitcoin with the BitVM, you don't even need a new soft fork to introduce sidechain. You can have trustless sidechain already with the present code. The problem is, as you said, efficiency. So right now, putting any kind of general proof on Bitcoin with BitVM would be too large for any transaction. It would be like you will need like probably thousands of blocks only for one single trivial proof. So how can you create a general proof of a sidechain that can fit there? You can mitigate this problem. For example, the BitVM design is not that everybody will put everything on the blockchain. There will be basically a verifier, a challenger. So you have this kind of roles where but still the worst case scenario.
You need like validator for that.
But if the validator will try to cheat, then the challenger will have to publish the transaction. So somewhere you have the scenario in which you have to hit the blockchain with the proof. And right now the proofs are unrealistic. But with better evolution on the zero, if we found very small zero knowledge proofs that can actually prove a giant economic, if you have like, assume that you have thousands of trillions of dollars on a sidechain, and you need to prove that with the BitVM proof, which is 3 terabytes. I'm doing random numbers, I don't know. Maybe you can justify the fact that this economy will share the fees to pay a few years worth of Bitcoin blocks just to prove the external settlement. I'm just making it up, but the idea is brilliant. It's not a hype. The immediate applicability is hype. So the fact that people are saying we are developing now a BitVM machine, that's complete bullshit.
You are working on it.
You're not now working on anything. It's experimental. It's experimental theoretical research that on one side could bring tomorrow speed up in sync rate, and maybe could also be used without soft fork to bring zero knowledge validation on Bitcoin. It's possible today, but it's not efficient enough to do anything significant.
Thank you. As always, Giacomo, now enjoy our
money. Now enjoy
halving party.
Let's enjoy our money.
Oh, I mean, maybe with 1,000 of these we can buy assets.
Yeah, possible. For now.
Thank you again.
My pleasure.
3.125, right foot step, left foot slide. 3.125, left